Thank you. Please find your seats. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll open up the floor to citizens' comments. You will have 5 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record when you start. Any citizens' comments?
Good evening. My name is Crystal Whiteside Zarnecki. My address is 6824 34th Avenue. My grandfather always told me to stand up for what I believe in. I believe in my job that I do for Kenosha County Human Services. Tonight you'll be discussing our health insurance and the percentage of the premiums that we pay and our co-pays. As a public employee, we do not get perks that the private sector receives. They get cell phones, bonuses, vacations, company cars, other things for jobs well done. We've had our health insurance and pension paid for a job well done. Before, we were told that we had high deductibles and co-pays as we didn't pay a premium. Now you want us to pay both. Is that fair? You say it's unfair for taxpayers to pay for our pension and health insurance, but I'm a taxpayer. I own a home in Kenosha. So in a sense, I'm paying my insurance and pension twice. Is that fair? I understand with the economy that we need to pay our fair share. We've gone without a pay increase for several years. Just keep in mind, the more you take from our check, the less we take home, and the less we'll be spending in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Donna Zarovi. I live at 6207 203rd Avenue in Bristol. I too would like to speak on the proposed insurance proposals. The employees of Kenosha County are now required to pay over 6% of their salaries for pensions in 2013. You're now going to ask us to take another 8% pay cut for our insurance with reduced benefits and require us to pay for dental insurance. Loss of dental insurance is very detrimental. Dental health leads to overall good health. I, like many other employees, have either had a joint replaced or some surgery. A lot of others have heart ailments or diabetes. If we get an infected tooth and the infection spreads to any of our joints, I could lose my knee. Or the infection could also infect the heart, and people with diabetes will have a lot of problems too. The addition of a $150 deductible for a single or $300 for families on formulary and non-formulary drugs is hard to swallow. Some of our medications are not available for generics. Take, for instance, my Advair inhaler is not a generic. Some generics do not work the same. Our co-pays are staggeringly high, $12, $48, or $96 for one prescription. If you ever go to Walgreens or some of the drugstores and listen to the people when the druggist rings them up, some of them pay none, the majority less than $10. The lady from Humana the other day referred to, oh, there's all these $4 drug plans available. That's not true. I checked with Walgreens today. They said, oh, we did away with that plan. We've got our own drug plan now that you can pay on a tier system, $10, $20, or $30. Insulin alone on their plan is $180 a month. The suggested cost of health insurance at over $100 per month, dental insurance at $100 a month, vision at $20 a month. The loss of the flex account amounts to $65 a month. The deductible for drugs for 2 people amounts to $25 a month. And that amounts to a total loss of insurance alone for me of $325 a month. Plus, now I'm going to have to pay the $200 for my pension, which amounts to a $525 a month cut in pay. Some people will pay more, some will lose less. This is an annual loss of $6,300 per year, or a 14% pay cut on a salary of $45,000. There's 1,000 employees with the county. That's $6.3 million that you're taking out of the tax rolls and the economy in Kenosha County. The cost of living rose over 2% this year alone. I, like a lot of others, are at the top of my pay scale, and there's no way I'm going to receive a pay increase, and I've received very few over the last few years. For several years in a row, our employee health plan has had over a $1.5 million surplus. Where is that money? Why can't it be used to offset some of these costs? Collectively, people come up with ideas and solutions. We did it before in the late 70s and 80s when the cost of living rose 13% per year. And we worked together, the unions and the county board, to keep the budget in line. We need to do that again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carol Gonzalez. I live at 5526 53rd Avenue. I have two issues to speak on. The first one being the proposed health insurance costs to county employees. The county enjoyed a savings of about $1 million last year into the beginning of 2012 when they moved about 400 employees to Plan H. They're going to save about another $1 million in January when they move the rest of the employees to that plan. Our county is self-insured, and we have budgeted amounts for health insurance plans for $717 for a single and $1721 for a family. Those are the budgeted amounts, not the actual costs. In fact, normally the actual costs come in under those budgeted amounts, and that surplus of money is then used for other budget items instead of being rolled over for future health insurance expenses. So my question is, why is it proposed that employees are asked to pay more for insurance when the costs have not exceeded the budgeted amounts? It's difficult for me to understand these kinds of economics. I don't understand why the burden is placed on employees when those costs are not even exceeding those amounts. We're all being hit with 5.8 and now 6.2% pension contributions. We've lost our Section 125 county contribution monies, which we gave up to go to less beneficial health insurance plan to save the county money. Now we're losing that. It's proposed that we pay 5 to 6% premiums now. We're losing our dental insurance. As Mrs. Zarovi said, you know, there's deductibles on the prescription drugs. I don't make a lot of money. My gross income was $47,000. After you take state and federal taxes, FICA, Medicare, I'm making less than $40,000. It's getting harder and harder to make ends meet. I take care of an elderly parent, and it would be really difficult for me to get a part-time job to make ends meet. My property taxes are over $4,000 a year on a house that was devalued $44,000 in the last 2 years. So taking those hits constantly has been a burden. I'm just asking you to consider leaving the health care costs as they are in the Plan H insurance. The second item is the county jail staff. Jail staff have the toughest jobs. They deal with the worst clientele. They face risks every day that a normal employee doesn't see, and yet it seems that they're treated with less respect than any other unit of employees. The sheriff says he's saving money with the 5242 schedule. Well, he is, because he's not paying these employees their 10 paid holidays that all other employees get. They deserve that pay, and I would ask that you just treat them fairly and equitably as all other employees and pay them for those 10 paid holidays. I would ask that you, if you only consider the 5242 schedule, if the sheriff pays them for their holidays. They don't even get an 80-hour pay period, a full 80-hour pay period every pay period. So I would just ask that you reconsider those issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Scott Dahl. I live at 8407 26th Avenue. I'm in uniform, okay? Two reasons for that. One, I'm on my lunch, okay? A lot of you people were able to sit down and have a nice meal on your lunch. I'm coming here, okay? Second reason why I'm here in uniform is because I want you people to look at me in the face and tell me I don't deserve a paid holiday, okay? We make a lot of money for the county, a lot of money. Before we started making this money for the county, I got raises. All of a sudden, we started making all this money for the county, and I don't get any raises anymore. I don't understand it. The sheriff says that the deputies don't receive holidays, but the deputies are law enforcement. Okay, we're told we're not law enforcement. But when we go to court, we're law enforcement. I don't understand how we can be both, but not either. The deputies' schedule is a 5253. They're never short 8 hours on a paycheck. We are. What Carol said, I think everybody that's sitting here agrees with, okay? We're taxpayers too. We're also your employees, and we do an awful good job. I almost slipped, I apologize. Judiciary and law, I went to the Judiciary and Law meeting, the last committee members, okay, and they said it was wrong that we didn't receive paid holidays, okay. They said they would refer it to the next committee. Next committee come in, and I see a few people here, they said it was wrong. It's not wrong, it's wrong, but we don't have the money to pay you. Well, now you have the opportunity to give us the money. Give the Sheriff Department the money to pay us for our holidays. We lost a lot. I'm sorry, but I just have a few little notes here. As far as the sheriff saying that the deputies don't have paid holidays, they work 8 less days a year than we do, okay? If we have to work the short weeks, which we have, that's 16 more days that they have, and they're not short, okay? This needs to be addressed, and excuse me, but I have to go back to work and make you guys some money. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Any other citizens' comments? Any other citizens' comments? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. Announcements of the chair. I would just like to thank the supervisors that have been coming to the various budget meetings. I do appreciate it, and I appreciate, while I'm attending the budget meetings for their committees, that people are coming prepared and asking questions and being on top of it. I do appreciate that, so congratulations so far. Also, we will be passing out in your packets this weekend information for United Way, so if you are interested in contributing to that, please fill out the paperwork and get your check to Mary at the clerk's office. That concludes my announcements. At this time, we'll open it up to supervisors' reports. Supervisor O'Day.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to bring it to the attention of the board and any of the public. The Kenosha History Center is having a chili cook-off Saturday, October 20th, this coming Saturday, from 6 to 10. There are 10 contestants. It's a great night. There's music. Tickets are $10. I have tickets. They can have tickets at the door Saturday night. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor O'Day. Supervisor Hallman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to issue a reminder to the rest of the county board. The Human Services Committee will be meeting with the Human Services Board this Thursday night at 5:30 in the Human Services Building in the Commons area to go over the Human Services 2013 budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hallman. Supervisor Brunig.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I placed on everyone's desk tonight the Kenosha County 4-H Awards Night. This is next Tuesday. Typically, this will fall on a county board night, but this year they've moved it just in case any of the supervisors would like to attend to support all of our youth that participated in the 4-H program this year. Just so that everyone is aware, the 4-H program probably has the largest contingency of volunteer adults in the county. There's probably about over 100 adults that volunteer to help out this program every year. So it's kind of nice if we could have some of the supervisors go out next Tuesday night for this awards program. Also, we had a presentation from Madison on the economic impact study for Country Thunder. This is just in draft form at this time, but as soon as it's been finalized, I will give a presentation to the executive committee and then over to the county board. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Brunig. Seeing no other lights, we'll move on with the agenda.
Ordinances, first reading to required. 14 from Public Works Facilities Committee to repeal and recreate an ordinance on speed limits for County Trunk Highway L from its junction with State Trunk Highway 31 easterly to its junction with County Trunk Highway G in the town of Summers and city of Kenosha. Ordinance 15 from Public Works Facilities Committee to create an ordinance on speed limits for County Trunk Highway C from its junction with County Trunk Highway D easterly to its junction with County Trunk Highway U in the village of Bristol. 16 from Public Works Facilities Committee to create an ordinance on speed limits for County Trunk Highway MB from a 0.90 miles south of its junction with State Trunk Highway 50 southerly to its junction with County Trunk Highway Q in the village of Bristol. Ordinance 17, one reading, from Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, Durable Properties LLC owner, Frank LeConte agent, request a rezoning for R9 Multiple Family Residential District and B3 Highway Business District to R9 Multiple Family Residential District in the town of Summers. Submitted by Brunig, yes. Decker, yes. Underhill, yes. Dodge, excuse. Skalitsky, yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Brunig.
Move ordinance number 17.
Ordinance number 17 has been moved by Supervisor Brunig, seconded by Supervisor Decker. Supervisor Brunig.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This property is located on the west side of State Trunk Highway 32, which is Sheridan Road, approximately 0.15 miles south of County Trunk Highway KR, which is 1st Street. The rezoning will allow for the property to have a uniform multifamily zoning. The town of Summers recommended approval of the request.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That ordinance passes.
Resolution 52 from Judiciary and Law Committee regarding regular cabaret license for Players Park South. Esposito, yes. Ron Johnson, yes. Boyd Frederick, yes. Arrington, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Montemiro, yes. Noble, yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Move Resolution 52.
Resolution 52 has been moved by Supervisor Esposito, seconded by Supervisor Noble. Supervisor Esposito.
This is a cabaret license for Players Park South, located at 9251 Antioch Road in Salem. The Sheriff's Department has been there and reviewed the application. There was a few calls there. They were talked about at committee, nothing serious. Sheriff's Department urged approval. I just urge your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Esposito. Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is passed.
Resolution 53 from Judiciary and Law Committee regarding probationary cabaret license for One-Eyed Jack. Esposito, yes. Ron Johnson, yes. Boyd Frederick, yes. Arrington, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Montemiro, yes. Noble, yes.
Supervisor Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Resolution 53.
Resolution 53 has been moved by Supervisor Esposito, seconded by Supervisor Ron Johnson. Supervisor Esposito.
Again, this is a probationary cabaret license for One-Eyed Jacks located at 9524 Camp Lake Road in Salem. Again, inspection report was done by the Sheriff's Department. There were a couple service calls. They were talked about and debated at committee. Sheriff's Department approved this, and I urge your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Esposito. Seeing no lights, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is passed.
Resolution 54 from Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee regarding Comprehensive Plan Amendment. Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee sponsor requests approval of draft annual report, a multi-jurisdictional comprehensive plan for Kenosha County 2035, 2011-2012, annual report and text amendment to Part 2 of Chapter 15, implementation element of the multi-jurisdictional comprehensive plan for Kenosha County 2035 to add an exception for an amendment to the plan for rezones back to original zoning for developments that were not constructed. Brunig, yes. Decker, yes. Underhill, yes. Dodge, excuse. Skalitsky, yes.
Supervisor Brunig.
Move resolution number 54.
Resolution number 54 has been moved by Supervisor Brunig, seconded by Supervisor Skalitsky. Supervisor Brunig.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the county clerk mentioned, this is regarding the multi-jurisdictional comprehensive plan for Kenosha County. Basically, the recommendations that came out of the committee was to revert the rezoning back to the original zoning for developments that were not constructed. This happened during the downturn in the economy, and of course, we don't want to let the land sit vacant. If the landowners are willing to take it back for a price or whatever they want to do with it, so at least they can farm it in the meantime until a development can be built on it. So that's what the new added to it. The Multi-Jurisdictional Advisory Committee reviewed and recommended the approval of the annual report at their meeting of October 2nd, 2012. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Brunig. Seeing no lights, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 54 is passed.
Communication from George E. Melcher regarding future items scheduled before the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee.
We'll receive and file that communication.
Approval of the October 2nd, 2012 with a correction that supervisor report should read 8 p.m., not 7 p.m. An approval of the minutes by Supervisor Nudo.
Supervisor Nudo. Supervisor Nudo has moved to approve the minutes with the correction of October 2nd, second by Supervisor Dodge. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those minutes are approved. Been moved by Supervisor Decker, seconded by Supervisor Nudo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded that, Decker?
Nudo.